G'day guys, welcome to another video, and on this video we're gonna talk about some tips to have a successful language exchange so you can start learning that language that you always wanted to learn. Now, when I say successful, what I mean by this is, let's say, a good experience where you and your partner can start learning and you can help each other and you can have a good time rather than feeling like, oh my god, this is a waste of time. Okay, let's get right into it. By the way, these tips are based on my experience. I have done many language exchanges and I've had very good ones and not so good ones. So hopefully by watching this video you're gonna get very good ones as well. So let's get started. The first tip is basically checking our equipment. What I mean by this is camera, phone, your laptop or your computer, checking your internet. If you're gonna meet someone online, you just want to make sure that everything is working so you avoid, disruptions during the time when you meet. So if, for example, your internet connection, let's say, is not that good around certain times, obviously do not pick that time, because then maybe you're in the middle of the call and then the internet stops working, and that's just not gonna be good for you. Okay, the second tip is going to be picking a platform, and then obviously this could be anything from HelloTalk, italki, Facebook groups, Gumtree if you're in Australia, or basically any website where you can post ads and then you start looking for someone. Once you find that a person, or once you find someone you want to meet, before you actually meet and you talk to that person, I recommend sending a few messages back and forth just so that both of you feel more comfortable when you meet. Okay, the next thing we'll do is to get some topics and maybe get some questions before we meet the person, because when we do this we are gonna have some ideas of what we can talk about. So for example, if we are a beginner or we are starting in the language, we could use topics like family, sports, friends, hobbies, things that are easy to start when we are learning that language. And then obviously if you are an intermediate or advanced, then you can pick some more challenging or more difficult topics. Now, and we do this to avoid, that awkward silence when you're talking. Alright, the next tip is to be patient and to have fun. So yes, we all want to learn, but remember, this doesn't have to be a class or doesn't have to be like a class. So just be patient. Maybe you ask a question and the person doesn't know how to exactly reply to that, or maybe they don't know the grammar answer to that question, but it doesn't mean that because of those things you cannot get a good language exchange. And another thing is, like I said, have fun, because I remember when I went to some language exchanges, I would be very serious. Like I would get a notebook and then start taking notes and asking questions, and yes, that's good, but some people didn't actually like it. So I thought something that is a bit more, let's say, casual would be to write down things on a piece of paper or on a napkin. I haven't got a napkin to show you, but this is when I was learning French. So I would meet with a friend and I would be asking questions. Hey, how do I say this? Okay. So I guess this makes it a bit more casual. This is something that really worked for me. I noticed the difference between these two, so keep that in mind. And the last one, this applies more if you meet in person, and it is to try to meet people from the same sex, just to avoid any confusions or any uncomfortable scenarios. Because let's say, for example, that a guy goes out with a girl and then he actually ends up liking the girl, and he might be trying to hit on her or doing things to impress her, or maybe he might do things and make her feel uncomfortable. The reason of meeting was to learn a language, to help each other. It was not to go on a date. So from what I've heard, from what I've seen, it's better to take those things separately. Like going on a date is one thing, getting together to practice a language is a different thing. In my experience, I've normally done this only with guys, because again, I've had friends or I've met people on these language exchange places, and you know that probably that person had a bad experience or wants to just be clear from the. So one time I was in this bar with my brother and a friend. There was a language exchange going on. You know, those where you can put a flag and then you talk to people that speak that language. And it's funny because we were just talking in Spanish and they wanted to listen to me speaking in Japanese. So they would get people and I would say short conversations, or I would talk to them for a little bit because they wanted to listen to it. I would even tell them in Japanese, "Watashi no tomodachi wa watashi no nihongo kikitai," and they would laugh so hard. Yeah. So and then what happened? I mean, in one of those interactions, there was a girl that, let's say, after the first sentence, or like right at the beginning, she told me, "Watashi no danna-san wa asoko ni imasu yo," or something along those lines. So she was telling me that her husband is right there. And again, I thought, you know, probably she has been in that situation where she just wants to practice in English, or she wants to just talk to someone in Japanese for a little bit, but then people start hitting on her. You never know. So the point of this story is like to, you know, respect other people and just to try to get the most of it, and also be mindful of the place. If you really want to learn, or if you're gonna be serious and you're learning, it's gonna be very different if you meet someone in a cafe, in a public library, compared to meeting someone in a bar, you know. So just be mindful of where you go and what type of learning or practice you want to get. Now guys, let me know in the comments down below, have you ever been on a language exchange? Tell me, how was it? Do you have a funny story, or have you been in one of those situations that I mentioned? Please let me know, I would like to find out. Okay guys, I hope that this video gives you some clarity so you can have a successful language exchange. And look, maybe you know someone that is trying to meet people, that is struggling to get that practice and meet people that speak that language. Well, maybe this video might be for them, so make sure you share the video with someone that you think would be interested. I hope you got value out of the video, so if you did, don't forget to like the video, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can stay on top of the series. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, and with that I will leave you. Thank you so much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one, and bye for now.